Have you ever felt lost? Like you are standing at a crossroads with no map and 100 different paths stretching out before you? That's exactly where Nour found herself. She was a recent graduate, full of dreams, but completely overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices. Should she take that stable corporate job her parents were so excited about? Or should she pack a bag and move to a new city to pursue her passion for art, even though it paid almost nothing? Maybe she should go back to school, get another degree? The what-ifs were deafening. Every morning, she'd scroll through social media, seeing friends announce their new jobs, engagements, and adventures. It felt like everyone else had received a secret instruction manual for life, and hers must have gotten lost in the mail. The pressure to make the right choice was crushing. She spent weeks making pro and con lists that stretched for pages, asking everyone for advice until their opinions just became a confusing mess of noise in her head. She was so afraid of making the wrong move, of closing a door that should have been left open, that she ended up doing nothing at all. She was frozen. One rainy afternoon, feeling particularly defeated, she called her grandmother. Her grandma didn't offer advice or tell her what to do. Instead, she just listened. After Nour had poured out all her anxieties, her grandma said something simple, yet profound. "Nour, my dear, you are so focused on finding the one right path that you are forgetting that life isn't a single road. It's more like a sprawling garden. Sometimes you plant a seed and it doesn't grow. Sometimes a flower blooms where you least expect it. The point isn't to never make a mistake. It's to keep tending to your garden." That conversation was a tiny spark. Nour started to think differently. What if there wasn't one single right choice? What if every choice was just a starting point for a new experience? Instead of trying to predict the entire future, what if she just focused on the next small step? She decided to stop trying to please everyone or live up to some imaginary ideal. She asked herself a different question. What feels most like me right now? The answer wasn't a corporate job, and it wasn't even moving to a big city just yet. It was something smaller. She remembered a local community center that offered art classes for kids. It wasn't a high-paying gallery job, but the thought of it made her feel a little lighter, a little more excited. It was a small step, but it felt authentic. So, she applied for a part-time volunteer position there. The first day she walked into that chaotic, paint-splattered classroom, something clicked. Seeing the joy on the kids' faces as they mixed colors and created their own little masterpieces, she felt a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in months. She wasn't thinking about her 5-year plan or what her peers were doing. She was just present, helping a little boy figure out how to draw a lopsided star, and it felt right. Working at the community center didn't solve all her problems overnight. Money was still tight, and her future was still uncertain. But she was no longer frozen by fear. This small step gave her confidence. She started a small online shop to sell her own prints. It began with just a few sales to friends and family. Then, a local coffee shop asked to display her work. One thing led to another. Each small yes was like planting another seed in her garden. Some of those seeds sprouted and grew into beautiful opportunities. Others didn't, and that was okay. She learned that a wrong turn wasn't a dead end. It was just a detour that often led to an unexpected and beautiful view. For example, a workshop she organized had very low attendance. which felt like a failure at first. But one of the few people who did come was a local gallery owner. They loved her style and her passion for community art, and that connection led to her first solo exhibition a year later. The corporate job might have offered her security. Moving to a new city might have offered her adventure. But by choosing the small, authentic step, she built a life that was uniquely hers, a life filled with both security and adventure, woven together in a way she could never have planned. She was tending her own garden, and it was beginning to flourish in the most wonderful and unexpected ways. Nour's story is a powerful reminder for all of us who feel paralyzed by choice. We live in a world that constantly tells us to hustle, to optimize, to find the perfect, most efficient path to success. But maybe success isn't a destination we arrive at. Maybe it's the process of learning, growing, and staying true to ourselves along the way. So, if you're standing at a crossroads right now, feeling that familiar knot of anxiety in your stomach, take a deep breath. Forget about finding the one right choice. Instead, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today that feels authentic to me? It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can be sending an email, signing up for a class, or having an honest conversation. Your life is your garden. It's okay if it looks a little wild and messy. It's okay if some things don't grow as planned. The beauty is in the process, in the planting, the watering, the weeding, and watching with wonder as things begin to bloom. Stop looking for the perfect map and start tending to your soil. You might be surprised by what grows. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about finding our way. See you next time.